Ladies and gentlemen, huge victory. Hit subscribe to this channel right now. Michigan Supreme Court decides Trump can stay on ballot. He did not foment a rebellion. He did not try to overthrow the country. You'd have to be an imbecile to believe this. And the Michigan Supreme Court, like the United States Supreme Court, has determined that Trump did not engage in a rebellion. We also know that the Federal Bureau of Investigation found no evidence, that's even according to the Daily Beast, no evidence that Trump or allies organized a rebellion. It is a fact he did not do so. What happens is these Democratic Party talking points, these liberal talking points, these absurd leaps of logic continue to be repeated. And then judges in certain locations of the country then believe this nonsense. And so in Colorado, the Supreme Court will overturn that decision. Okay, that's not a big deal. I mean, it's a big deal that they would try to tarnish democracy by not allowing somebody to run because of an accusation that is categorically false. Okay, so it is an authoritarian move. That's what an authoritarian would do. They keep on saying Trump is a totalitarian. He even said it himself. As they work to get him off state ballots, which is what a totalitarian or authoritarian does. Okay, so the really hilarious thing is the people who act like despots, the people who will silence speech, who will utilize euphemism instead of the definitions of words, the people who would curtail or silence one's ability to communicate on Twitter, for example, using government agencies, which is what we found out with the Twitter files. They banned or suspended hundreds of thousands of conservative accounts online. Then you had social media algorithms because 50 intelligence officials lied through their teeth about Hunter's laptop. Despots, totalitarians, authoritarians do this. Okay? Hit subscribe, by the way, to this channel. To read my writing in The Hill, The Huffington Post, Salon, The Jerusalem Post, The Federalist, other publications, go to hagoodman.com. That is what a despot does. Okay? What they're doing to Trump is what a despot does. They've indicted him with 91 criminal charges, and every single indictment is written as if a Democratic strategist or an MSNBC or CNN producer wrote the indictment. By the way, the Patreon is below and the Super Thanks is below as well. If you want to look at the state of American politics, Trump is up by anywhere from 1 to 2.5 points in an average of polls. He's been indicted, and he's facing 91 criminal charges, and he's still defeating the incumbent. Think about that for a second. Think about that. And then, like I said he got a huge victory from the U.S. Supreme Court several days ago. So, in a big victory for Trump, this is a Vox article, Supreme Court tells Jack Smith to go away, which is hilarious because now, several hours ago, he's saying that Trump should be banned from blaming others for what he's accused of committing. So he can't even, his First Amendment rights don't matter anymore. He needs to, the judges in these cases need to silence Trump because, for what purpose? Because there's not enough evidence, maybe, to convict him? If Trump is such a criminal, why would he need to be silenced? Especially, it's not like he's going, it's not like he's breaking any laws here, okay? In one of the cases, you had a law clerk and the judge make political donations to the Democratic Party, okay? That's in one of the cases against him. Then, in this case, interestingly enough, there could have been, possibly, government involvement. Potentially. And so, it's really interesting. The despots and authoritarians and totalitarians are saying, oh my God, Trump wants to be this villain, and he wants retribution, as they tried to ban him from being on state ballots, indict him with 91 criminal charges, while Hunter and Joe engaged in obvious graft and bribery schemes, which is why 50 intelligence officials lied through their teeth saying it was a plot by another country. And now he can't defend himself in the court of public opinion because, God forbid, he defends himself in the court of public opinion and people believe him. So now the new request is that he can't even defend himself in the court of public opinion. But this is really huge because if you look, he has to win Michigan, and he's up in Michigan. He's up in Pennsylvania big time, by the way. Colorado is a blue state. Interesting that Colorado, by the way, is a blue state. It used to be a red state about 20 years, less than 20 years ago. But it's a blue state. Okay. It has 5 less electoral college votes than Michigan. So he needs Michigan, and that's the main, that is a state that he must win, or that would make him a lot easier. He must win Georgia and Nevada. Okay, I mean, sorry, Arizona. Nevada would be great too, but he must win Arizona. He must win Georgia. Okay, it's really interesting how you have toss-up states that are firmly red, and that is because, ladies and gentlemen, media when media looked at Trump in 2016, they circled the wagons and did everything possible to accuse him of being the greatest monster and villain you've ever seen. He defeated Clinton in 2016. Then media stepped it up. The Washington Post, MSNBC, CNN, The Atlantic, New York Times, Washington Post, like I said, MSNBC, CNN, The Atlantic, Vanity Fair, Esquire, Rolling Stone, every single publication, every state level publication, okay, newspapers within red states, for example. It's interesting. You have traditionally red states in Georgia and Arizona, and the top newspapers are firmly on the side always of the Democratic Party. And so you have social media algorithms always dedicated to protecting the Democrat. You have Jimmy Kimmel, Saturday Night Live, Stephen Colbert, every single night, every single evening. You can't even go to bed without hearing just blatant propaganda bolstering Democratic Party talking points. That, by the way, is a campaign finance violation, okay? It's likely that Jimmy Kimmel's producers, it's likely, I can't say for certain, but it's likely that his producers or Stephen Colbert's producers are in contact with Democrats or Democratic strategists when they write jokes tearing down Trump. So, but that's giving free political advertising. Okay, so Democrats get billions in political advertising every month. Every single month, they get billions of free political advertising. And you have to ask yourself, if every single possible advantage, from social media algorithms to media to late night to comedians, if that all wasn't working in concert, that's what I've always tried to tell my viewers on this channel. If all of that wasn't working 24/7 against Trump, he'd be up by 10 points. He'd be up by 10 points, and he probably would still be in the Oval Office. So, I mean, you have a situation where the country itself is actually more conservative on a whole bunch of things, or more populist, I should say, on foreign policy and economic policy and domestic issues, okay, like immigration. By the way, I want dreamers to become citizens. I have friends who are dreamers. And so Trump offered that, by the way. He offered citizenship for dreamers if the wall was built. Of course, Democrats tanked that, did everything possible to prevent that from happening, and still haven't done anything for dreamers. So that's the way Democrats are, okay? They really don't do anything. They don't do what they say they're going to do. Trump tries to. The stupidest critique of Trump is that he doesn't do what he says he's going to do. He tries to desperately or he just doesn't. We had record low poverty and record highs in household median income, and he brought Americans home from never-ending military conflict. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. Everything I've been saying, people, is taking place. Is that not true? Is that not true? Is the Supreme Court, is state Supreme Courts, and has not the U.S. Supreme Court backed Trump already? They'll continue to do so. Hit subscribe right now. Huge, huge victory. Share this everywhere. Thank you.